it's Jessica with Dining Traveler, and welcome to part 3 of the Dining Traveler cooking series, where we try to make dishes from our favorite destinations. And this time we are going to Puerto Rico for the whole series because we are going to have a very Boricua Christmas. And I know that this looks a little bit different. No, I did not get a kitchen remodel. I'm at La Cosecha, which is a contemporary Latin-inspired market in the Union Market District here in Washington, D.C. Did you know that Puerto Rico has one of the longest holiday seasons in the world? It starts around Thanksgiving and it extends all the way to the end of January for Las Fiestas de la Calle San Sebastián. If you are Puerto Rican or you know Puerto Ricans, you know that we're very festive people, so we are going to maximize the holiday season. And we're gonna kick this off making Pavochón, which is pavo, hinchon, turkey, lechón. And what we do is that we season the turkey as if we are seasoning our lechón or our pernil, which is our roasted pork shoulder. So it's this garlicky oregano flavor and it's absolutely delicious. And it also brings me back to my childhood. My father was in charge of the Thanksgiving table, especially the Thanksgiving turkey, and he used this marinade and he would always get really pumped up about making his turkey. And I'm very happy to share with you guys this recipe. We're gonna start with the marinade, and ideally you wanna season the turkey the night before so the flavors can really come together. We're gonna use around 2 tablespoons of each ingredient of the seasoning. I have around a 12-pound bird. You might wanna use a little bit more, so you just kinda have to play it by ear depending on the size. So we're gonna start with around 2 tablespoons of garlic. I love garlic, so this is more like 3. And then we're gonna add 2 tablespoons of the sazón for that nice Puerto Rican color. Nobody likes a pale bird. I'm gonna add 2 tablespoons of adobo. Then we are going to add the oregano and salt and pepper. So we're gonna start with, for this quantity, like around 3/4 of a cup of olive oil. I love my Laconico olive oil. It's Greek extra virgin olive oil. It also adds a nice depth of flavor to the bird. Now we're gonna mix it all together. Make sure all the spices come through. So this might seem like a lot of marinade, but just remember the turkey is pretty big, and you also wanna make sure you have enough to put under the skin, under the breast skin, and inside the cavity. Now we're getting ready to marinate the turkey. So there's a few things you want to check before you start. One is that the turkey is dry. Make sure you pat dry it. Secondly, you want to make sure that the turkey is completely thawed so that way it cooks evenly in the oven. And last, you want to make sure that the turkey is free of any bag of gizzards, hearts, necks, because it sounds crazy, but some people do throw it in there and it's just not fun at the end. So now we're loosening up the turkey skin so we can put some marinade inside. And I use my bare hands. This is just for my home family consumption. Obviously, if you're doing it for a bigger crowd, maybe you want to use gloves. But bare hands is fine. I feel like it gives me a bit more control as I loosen up the skin. And again, in between steps, you're still dealing with raw poultry, so please make sure you wash your hands at every step. So now we're gonna put marinade. I use a spoon, so really go in there. Like a good nice teaspoon. So you want to make sure also put some marinade in the cavity. Need some love too. Some people forget about this guy, but I'm still gonna do the bottom 2. And again, don't be afraid to use your hands. Get in there. So I think that the turkey always likes a good massage. So I've been making my own Thanksgiving turkey now for almost 20 years. It started when I was stationed in Okinawa, and I actually thought, I was like, hey, it's a great idea to make Thanksgiving dinner for my 50 Marines. So I made 2 like 20-pound birds, and that was a good time. And Lately, when I was living in Belgium, I started a Thanksgiving dinner tradition, and it started, I think, like with 15, 16 people. In my last year, it was like 35 people, so I had a huge bird and got everybody, especially the Europeans that were not very familiar with American culture, into the whole Thanksgiving thing. And now it's been 6 years since I've been back, and people still message me and say, Jessica, when are you gonna come back for Thanksgiving and making us Thanksgiving turkeys? My friend Steve, like, every Thanksgiving, he's like, it's Thanksgiving in the States and you didn't get me. He's like, I love your turkey. So this is for you, Steve. One day I'll be back. To stuff or not to stuff, that is the question. I am team no stuff because I believe that it makes the bird too dry and it just sucks it from all the flavors. The stuffing, yes, is delicious, but the important part, the turkey, is not. So what I like to do is I like to loosely fill the cavity with vegetables. I use carrots, celery, onions, and what that does, it gives a nice flavor to the turkey dripping. So in case you do make some type of dressing, you can put it on top of it for that extra turkey flavor. Now we transfer the turkey to a roasting pan. I'm using a traditional covered roasting pan, but if you just have a tin foil tray, that's fine too. The important part is that it is covered. You can use aluminum foil, make a nice tent, but if you don't cover it in the beginning, what's gonna happen is that certain parts are gonna cook faster than the others. So make sure that it's covered at least for the first 2 hours. Again, this depends on the size of your turkey. We have a pretty small turkey, so the first 2 hours we're going to try and see where it's at. And again, like I said with the Marinade video, I know it's very tempting. Your house is going to start smelling like turkey, but do not open the oven. To repeat after me, I will not open the oven. We just put the turkey in the oven at 350, and now I would recommend putting on the timer for 2 hours because if you're like me, you'll forget that you have a turkey in the oven. So now the turkey's out of the oven. It's been cooking covered for 2 hours and we're taking it out. We want to baste it in its own juices again. And one thing I like to add, and this is kind of like my own new tradition that I started when I lived in Belgium, is add a nice dark beer. I love Leffe Brun. I also like Chimay Bleu, but you can try any dark beer. I recommend getting a digital thermometer, or you can just get a regular thermometer and just see where the turkey's at, because that way you can determine how much more it has to cook. It's gonna be cooking uncovered from now on, but use a timer or just keep an eye on it, and every 20 minutes keep on checking and keep on basting it so that breast stays nice and moist. So now we're gonna put the thermometer. So the whole idea is that you wanna put it into the thickest part of the turkey. So right now it's at 147 with poultry. You want to be at 160, 170. Make sure it's well cooked. It's like a bottle and a half. And this bird is ready to go back into the oven. Sante, Prost. Present to you the Pavochón, and one of the things that I recommend is for you to let the bird rest for at least 30 minutes before you carve it. And while you wait, have a glass of wine. So this is how we make pavochón at Casa Dining Traveler. So we have some arroz con gandules, some avocados to be healthy-ish, delicious stuffing recipe from my friend Iliana Maisonet, Eat Gorda Eat, some roasted pavochón. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any questions or feedback, please leave it in the comments. And again, a big thanks for La Cosecha for allowing me to use this gorgeous space. Buen provecho.